Uh, um, I shared a handout and a couple of videos that you probably may or may not have watched. I'm not sure. On the academic paragraph that was last week. Um, and today I uploaded a short introduction to the research question, which I will tell you about in a little bit. But first, some housekeeping. I've noticed that some people haven't posted on the stream the people in the groups. Now, if you have, ignore this, but this is for those who haven't. So we have 29 people in our class. Of the 29, about 17 people have posted the names of the people in their groups. That means the rest have not. Please, if you haven't posted the names of the people in your groups, please do so. You must select someone to be in your group. So because I'm gonna need some feedback from you today. We're gonna briefly touch on that a little later about the groups and the research. Um, just uh, um, let me try and share my screen with you. So mm, okay, so this is our Google Classroom screen again. Um, so on the classwork section, I've included a research question, right? How to prepare your research question, and I want to talk a little bit about that this week. Did everyone have a chance to watch the video on the academic paragraph? Because that was critical. So if you go to the classwork section, go to research question. Here you'll find a handout, right, on how to write your research question. It's in the classwork section. So you shouldn't have any problem with that. Did everyone watch the video on the academic paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did
Yeah.
anyone not
Yes.
watch it? Anyone not watch it yet? Okay, it's pretty simple. Those of you who did foundation year, you should have covered this last year. So basically, that structure is the same for any paragraph that we have. You can pick any textbook and you can identify the pieces of those, the sentences in those paragraphs, right? So your topic sentence, your supporting sentence, and then your transition sentence, everybody uses that. It's a universal thing. So it's something that you need to get used to along with the writing process that we covered previously. I also posted the introduction to the academic paper where we covered each section and you had a look at the structure and so on, right? So today, I just want to tell you a little bit more about the research question because we're going into the Easter weekend, and during the Easter weekend, you will probably need to meet via Zoom with your group to discuss the research question that we're going to be doing. So um, I'd like some feedback from you in regards to the research question that you need to develop, right? Would you like to do this with your group, or would you like to do this on your own? So if you do it with
On
your
my
group,
own, please.
on your own, um,
Sorry.
no, that's fine. That's fine. I did want your feedback. So um, eventually, you will need to have your own research question, right? But if you choose to do it together with your group, that's also fine. Just you will each need to come up with your own research question for each person in your group. You can work together, but each of you will eventually require your own research question because due to the pandemic, I don't think it's a good idea for you to meet yet. We don't want to cause any super spreader micro events. So if you can via Zoom or whatever, Google Meet, any other messaging, FaceTime or whatever, you can, together with your group, try to come up with a research question, right? But each person, if there are, let's say, 3 people in your group, each person in your group will need a research question. Okay, so you can work together to come up with research questions, but each person needs to have a different research question. Okay, everybody with me so far? Okay, so um, for your paragraph section, right, for the first part, I'm going to ask you to prepare 2 paragraphs. The topic is free, you can write about anything, but it's basically to highlight the fact that you understand how the paragraph works. So you're going to submit 2 paragraphs. One paragraph is a creative writing style paragraph where you can choose any free topic. So if you want to talk about why you like what's the latest Netflix TV show, Bridgerton, or whatever you're watching at the moment. You can write a short paragraph. The word limit is around 200 to 250 words, right? Why you enjoy Bridgerton, if that's what the girls are into. The guys, if you are enjoying the latest show. I'm reaching now, but I'm not sure what. Let's say you enjoyed Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, the director's cut. You can explain about that. If you want to do something a little bit more serious, you can also. Um, you will also need to choose something academic, right? So a topic that is not creative, like for example, the evergreen that was stuck in the Suez Canal and its effect on supply chains around the world. You can do something more serious. But I want one paragraph that is academic in nature and another paragraph that is creative in nature, right? So one paragraph, both of them 250 words each, right? So one paragraph that will deal with an academic topic, okay, like why you think tertiary education in South Africa should be free, or why Helderberg needs a Starbucks, maybe not on campus, off campus, near the gate, or whatever, something a bit weightier, right? I'm not gonna give you guys topics, because last year we found that people came up with some very interesting topics on their own, and you will obviously choose something that is close to your heart or something that is interesting. Right, I will post this up again later. You will probably need to submit this after Easter, right? So there's no particular rush with this. It's just for me to see that you can understand the difference between a regular paragraph and an academic paragraph, and the structure. More importantly, the structure of a paragraph, right? And then we're going to look at that together later. Um, right now, I'm gonna jump off again and show you the research question. Before we get into why or how or where we write a research question, I just want to, you're probably seeing my screen right now, right? This is an academic paper, a research paper that was done, and those are, you can see here, these are all the props. Um, I want to show you the research questions here. So this is a proper research paper that was published in an international journal, and I want you to have a look at there. So the research questions come. You can put it. Some people put it in the introduction section, right? So this particular paper here, you see it says introduction, and the research question is in the introduction section. Some people put it in the literature review section or in the introduction. That's up to you, right? Um, so under the introduction section, you can see here, it says here, the following research questions, RQs, guided both experiments. Okay, so as you can see, they have 4 research questions. Now, you will notice with studies that are quite large, you will have multiple research questions, and studies that are smaller, fewer research questions. But there are no limit. It depends on the size and how much time and how much money you have. So if you look at these research questions, they are very specific, right? So question 1, does captioning aid comprehension? Right? They've also included prediction. So the prediction means what they expect to happen. And then number 2, what is the relationship between WM and L2 video comprehension, right? Do learners with high WM capacity comprehend more than learners with low WM capacity, right? They have their prediction as well. You don't need to do the prediction part, right? You just need to do the question. The question part you need to come up with. Number 3, what is the relationship between WM and caption reading behavior? Are there differences in caption reading behavior between learners with high WM and learners with low WM? Number 4, what is the relationship between caption reading behavior and L2? Sorry, how that's popped up now. What is the relationship between caption reading behavior and L2 video comprehension? Are there differences in caption reading behaviors between learners who demonstrate high video comprehension and learners who demonstrate low video comprehension? And then again, the prediction. But you don't need to come up with so many. You just need one research question, right? That you need to come up with. So what we're going to be doing is basically, I'm going to take you through the research paper, right, that exists in academia, that every professor or graduate student or undergraduate student does. So that when you see an article or a journal article, you know exactly what it is, you know how to write it, you know what they're saying, and you can critically analyze what they're saying, you know, because people love to quote um, research articles. Oh, this research was conducted and this result was found and so on. So we're going to look at research papers and how to analyze them in detail. And in order to do this in academic writing, obviously you'll need to write it. Now, can I see the psych students? Can the psych students just raise your hands if you have your video on? Are there any psych students? No, no, one person. Oh, oh, two students. I thought we had more. Um, okay, so you'll be doing this with Professor Zygmunt later. You'll be getting into this in great detail. The communication guys, you'll be doing this with Prof. Sutcliffe as well later. So what we are going to focus on in our class is 50% of the research methodology and 50% of the writing. So prior to this, you probably did some form of academic writing. Now we're going to put all of that into perspective. That was a high school level of academic writing. Now we're going to do the university level of academic writing, right? So many of you have probably already heard the term research thrown around, right? You've heard about studies that were conducted and the researchers found some exciting link or clue or some piece of information that's now revolutionary and so on and so on, right? So as you know, we're currently experiencing a pandemic, and the coronavirus is affecting many people's lives, most of it negatively. Um, so many of the medical researchers had to come up with a vaccine, right, that works. So they had to come up with it very quickly. So that means they had to double time. And a lot of the research that they have done will probably be written up after the pandemic is over because they're still busy working on vaccines and so on. So if you take some time and think about how did they get the vaccines to work, right? And then how did they get the vaccines from a theoretical to a practical application to the point where now the vaccines are being delivered globally to people to take, right? And how did we get to the stage where it's not going to kill you? Okay, it has killed some people. Let me just say that now. Some people have died from taking the vaccine, but that was not necessarily the fault of the vaccine itself. It was as a result of the other conditions. Please do not misunderstand me. You must have the vaccine. You must take the vaccine. I'm not saying don't take the vaccine, it's going to kill you. They had other complications that resulted in their death, and some of them were very, very old. So, you know, TikTok anyway. So, um, But that's not the point here. What I'm trying to say is, so research was conducted, and it was conducted on a lot of people, and a certain level of efficiency was reached, and the researchers decided, okay, the vaccine is great, let's go ahead and start manufacturing it and pushing it out. So you have, as you well probably know, J&J, you've got AstraZeneca, COVAX, etc., all these vaccines. But these researchers obviously came up with a research question. Theirs was probably simple, right? Does this chemical construction, eliminate the virus, and to what percentage is it effective, etc. They came up with that. Now, a research question that you're going to be interested in will be something that is perhaps something you are interested in, right? So I'm going to share my screen again with you. This is on your Google Classroom. Okay, you can have a slow read later. I just want to run through it with you so that you know which questions and what sections are important. So the first section, what is a research question, right? So your research question here is a question that basically guides your research, right? As I said, you can have one question or multiple questions. Okay, it's something that your research will answer. So for the purposes of our discussion on research, let's assume you are a researcher, and when we discuss research, we are working from your point of view, right? So let's say your research, you are trying to find an answer to a particular question, right? So let me just stop my share quickly. I just want to. Okay, so let's say you are interested in something. Give me some examples of research that you would be interested in conducting. This doesn't have to be authentic, just you are interested in that. Like if you love F1 and you think that Mercedes-Benz is domination of the F1 races is not realistic and something's up, and you want to study a particular aspect of the Mercedes car, right? So you have to be specific. Tell me something you would be interested in doing. Caroline, let's start with you. We'll go around quickly. What would you be interested in studying research-wise?
Well, so I don't have anything in mind right now.
That's okay. You don't have to give me something serious, just something that interests you that you would like an answer to a question. Even if it's something very simple, it doesn't have to be like super serious. Like, even if you're conducting a study on which shampoo works best for you, is it, I don't know what shampoos are good. Brand A and brand B, I don't know, or cosmetics or something. What are you interested in? Anything. It's just something you are interested in.
So can we do a comeback? I'll come back to that.
Okay, fine. We'll come back to you. Cindy, even if you're looking at comparing two chocolate bars, right? So you have Cadbury's and you have, what's the other one? Tastes like plastic. Beacon. I don't like Beacon. But yeah, you have Cadbury's chocolate whole nut, and you have a Beacon. I don't know what this thing, but Beacon, and you're comparing the two, right? So you would like to conduct research into which tastes better. So you choose like 10 people, and you give them a square of the Cadbury's, and you give them a square of the Beacon, but you don't tell them which one is Cadbury's and which one is Beacon, and then you record their responses, and then you see how many people preferred Cadbury to Beacon, right? Just a fun example. I'm not asking for some like hectic, serious, thing. Okay, Cindy, what about you?
Sorry, I thought you're already speaking for me. I think the research I would do is, does GM crops taste better than natural crops, organic ones?
Okay, so are we looking at corn or potatoes or?
Maybe apple.
Apples. Okay. Cool.
Because
Thank
like
you.
the apple from the shops look different from like those that are like farmed.
Ah, okay. Understood. I've never really looked at the apples, but I will the next time I'm in the produce section of at Woolies. Okay, thank you, Cindy. Luca, what about you?
I wouldn't mind maybe researching different types of researching methods,
Okay,
considering we're on the topic of research, and
yeah,
which is more effective when comparing,
okay,
and how different people decide on what is good for them.
okay, okay. That's
Maybe.
one. Yeah, that's one point of doing that, but we'll discuss that later. Good. Tia, what about you? Yeah, I'm just going according to my screen now. I just see other people with black screens. We're gonna get to them soon.
Um, I think I'd like to research the hype around Starbucks and versus our own coffee companies, and which one is more sustainable, which one is more ethical, and all that, like bootlegger versus Starbucks or Seattle Coffee. I don't know if that's South African, but Seattle Coffee versus Starbucks.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's good. Do a coffee chain comparison. How do I say that? Uyapo? Is that how I say your name?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Um, for me, maybe researching if it's possible for South Africa to rely on 100% renewable sources of energy.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. We have a lot of wind in Gordons Bay. I think we can power the entire Western Cape with the wind that goes on in Gordons Bay. Well, and Somerset West for that matter. Okay, cool. Renewable energy. Mitchell?
I'll probably research on if American vehicles are better than Japanese ones.
American vehicles are better than Japanese vehicles. Ooh. Hey, you want to start a fight, huh? You are very passionate people in both camps there. You better do that via Zoom. Nobody
I
can.
agree, sir.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, yeah. American vehicles versus Japanese. Okay, Caleb?
Yeah, I'm guessing well, okay, just something that came to my head is like, what is the best gaming console? PS4, Xbox, or
Ooh.
something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. You and Mitchell, you guys want to start a war. Okay, yeah. Gaming consoles also produce. Batho Bill? Are you there?
It's Batobile, sir.
Sorry, say that again slowly. What is it?
Batobile.
Batobile. Yes, okay, great. Thank you. What about you?
So I'd probably research something that has to do with the business industry since I'm business oriented. So I want to find out more about that.
Okay. Anything in particular or?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Something in the business sector. Okay, cool. Jacindy? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Or was it
You're
just
saying
Cindy?
that you're saying it correct, sir. I'm not sure, but I would search like, yeah, I'm still thinking of something.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alizi, where? Where?
I'm also not sure, so what I would want to write on.
Okay. Luyanda?
Well, I don't have an answer right now.
Okay.
But what I'm thinking is
Oh no.
public school versus what?
Okay, so public school versus private school?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, you're gonna need to help me with this with your name, eh? GQ. How do I?
It's Gribile, but it's the pronunciation doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in the theological field, I would probably research what is the influence of colonialism on Christianity. I think, yeah,
Okay.
I think that's, yeah.
Something that interests you, yeah. That would be an interesting topic. Tio Neil, I think.
I'm not really sure, but I think I'll do something foodie, like they say they have Chinese food, they have Thai food, but they all taste the same. So like I just want to research to know what's really the difference between these Asian foods, because they basically eat the same thing, something like that.
Okay, that would be interesting. And Tokozo?
I would do research on cows.
Cows, okay.
Yes.
What would you like to research on cows?
How their digestive system works, I guess.
Okay, because we're running out of time, I would so much like to delve more into that, but thank you for that. Mzati?
It's Mzati, sir.
Oh, right. Thank you.
I would like to research on people's preferences on brands like Nike or Adidas.
Oh, okay. Another war. Lincoln? I think.
So I would do research on the hype around iPhones. Why people think iPhones are more superior than Android phones.
Oh, okay. All right, that's one way to go. User experience. Lerato?
Sorry, sir. I'd actually research about the fees must fall cases. Since certain students aren't able to go back to school and they can't do anything, and then some have been shot and we've lost life. So I'd probably do that and get deeper.
Yeah, that's a very serious topic. Okay, thank you. So basically, right, you guys had difficulty coming up with your research question, right? Now that difficulty that you experienced is everyone experiences that from graduate students on up, right? Whenever it's time for them to choose, you will choose a research project later in your academic career, and you will also find, oh, it's difficult. There's so much. What do I want to research, and so on and so on, right? So on our Google Classroom, I've given you a handout that's going to assist you with choosing a research question. So as you can see on the pyramid, you start off with a topic. Now, your research project must be as concise and as specific as possible, right? So you start off with a general topic, and then you move to a working knowledge of a topic. So you read up around it, read research, other research, newspaper articles, etc., magazine articles around it, and then you spot where you think there's a gap or an area that hasn't been researched, right? That is open for research, that will produce more research questions. Once you do that, then you start formulating your research questions. So for this section, I would like you to basically read through this and then have a look at this pyramid, this inverted pyramid, and come up with your research question. Please talk to the people in your groups, right? Come up with your research question for next week, because I think Monday is a holiday, and then on Tuesday we're back, right? So if you feel a little intimidated and the topic is a little heavy, just remember this is an initial research question, right? So talk to the people in your group, your study buddies, your in your little writing writing buddy groups, and maybe you can work together if you want. If you, like Luca, want to work solo, that's also, you know, your choice. But you must have some idea when next we meet about a research question that you would like to tackle, right? So start reading up around it, talk to your friends and so on to get ideas. The topic is free, right? There's no restriction. But also please remember, the 2 paragraphs that you must submit to me, one is creative, one is an academic paragraph. It must be between 200 to 250 words. Also, it just needs to be submitted after Easter, so the week after Easter, right? You will need to, I'll give you the specific date when we meet again. So you've got a week to think about it and to start preparing it. I'll also upload written instructions for it on the Google Classroom. Okay, this will go into your portfolio of work for this semester, right? You'll be getting a grade for all of that. So the whole idea of the paragraph is for me to see that you understand how it works, right? How the paragraph works, and also to start our next section where we compare creative and academic paragraphs, right? The differences between the two, and why we have an entire field with thousands of books on academic writing and so on and so on. Okay, cool. Can I ask someone to pray to close us off in prayer? Any volunteers? Don't everybody volunteer at the same time.
Okay, I'll pray, sir.
Okay, thank you, Lorato. Let's bow our heads.
Bawe tumesana msana uthando semazulwini Thixo ukulunga ngegama likaYesu Kristu Nkosi. Ndiyakubonga ndakubela for eli thuba sibalekela namesana amandla, vula ingqondo zethu for yonke understanding ngegama likaYesu Kristu, sicibene naxinguhlulahlukana kwethu nazo zonke imisebenzi engcwele into efuneka sizenze ngegama likaYesu Kristu Nkosi. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys. I'll be in touch on Google Classroom. I'll upload more supporting information and written instructions and everything. For now, just bounce this around in your head and try to figure out what area. Okay, let's start with that. What area you are interested in. Okay. Thank you. Have a lovely day. Stay dry. I heard it's gonna rain tomorrow. You know, whatever that means in the Cape. In the morning, rain and the sun comes out. Okay. Have a great day. Ciao.